Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a wonderful episode of Sports, Nonsense, and Whiskey. Hanging with my fella, Pinky. How you doing, sir?
Good, buddy. Back at our regularly scheduled time. Tuesdays, it just feels right.
Yes, agreed. This is where we belong.
That Tuesday night. That way, when we talk about the upcoming NFL week, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, that's always a good thing, But I mean, sometimes we gotta move things around a little bit. Life happens, and we'll get back to regularly scheduled programming.
Brought to you by Topo Chico.
Oh yeah, I have some. Where is it? Why am I doing this wrong? Recorderlig.
That's a weird name.
It's it's like a seltzer water kind of flavored. They were at Epcot. Zach and Chelsea fell in love with them, and we found a place that is a purveyor of their services, if you will, and snagged some. They're all right. Okay. They're not bad.
Yeah. I've got the whiskey and Coke in this one.
Smart. I have to go get whiskey.
Yeah, I need to get. I've got some Screwball, and still got that bottle of Macallan. The Macallan's for special occasions. So
right, I've got what I have left is special occasion. So I gotta hold on to that. I can't just be drinking it every Tuesday night. So yeah. I forgot to go to the store. So I have a delicious peach seltzer water right now.
I gotta go get a bottle of the Broncos Breckenridge whiskey, the 2.0.
Yeah, better go grab some of that.
Yeah, get some of that. I mean, it'll probably be on sale, so
Good point. I saw NFL meme today, and it was a bunch of Wilson jerseys hanging up with a free sign over the top of them.
I think things might change when Hackett's going to get fired.
I told you. Things look super vanilla and not together.
And some of his excuses, he's not wrong. There are some plays out there to be made. But when your guys aren't making them, maybe you need to do something else.
Maybe smart. The smart man would be like, hey, you know what? We need to try this. Russell, what do you like? And if he says something than what he's done for the last 10 years in the league, you tell him, no. We're going to do what you did last year. And that's how this is going to go. I'm going to be good. You're going to be good. And that's what we're going to do. But, things happen.
Yeah, the writing's on the wall. There are some reports. I heard some of the Broncos TV guys, and they were his leash is not as long as it used to be. So I think, thankfully,
I've heard owners are really unhappy right now.
Well, yeah, it's so the spotlight is at least a little bit on them because it's brand new that they bought the team, right? So, and right now the team's a joke. It's embarrassing.
Well, and think about this: by far the richest owners in the league, like by a lot. And they didn't hire Hackett, so they could care less about a payout probably. And let's be honest, Patton's on the hot seat right now too.
Patton is it's at least warm. I don't think it's hot, but I know it's at least warm.
I mean, he brought in the coach. He signed the quarterback to the big deal. Now, granted, they okayed the quarterback because they had owned the team by the time that deal was done, didn't they? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, they owned the team by the time when that deal.
So they signed off on the Russ extension, so that's on them. But Coach coach and GM should. I mean, the coach won't make it past this year at this rate. The GM, he's going to have to do real good, real quick with a couple things, or he could be easily next. Because I don't think they're going to care about payouts. Not with the kind of money they have to throw around.
Oh, that's not even in part of the equation. Like, most NFL owners could care less about their payouts, and usually it's whenever they do the buyout, sometimes they can actually get a little bit less than what they actually owe the coach. But
well, it depends on if he takes another head coaching job or coordinator job or things of that nature is what falls into. But still, like they're like 10 times wealthier than the next closest owner or something like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty large discrepancy.
So, you know what I mean? Like they're not going to be too concerned about that because their money is going to keep going. Like their income, where that comes from, is not going to just dwindle away anytime soon.
Yeah,
So
they're
their
not going to be
revenue
worried about
stream
it.
is straight, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, the Denver Bronco name is strong. So as long as you don't let it fall into disarray and ruin, you should be just fine. Pay out whoever you want and move on.
And I think, I feel bad for most of Broncos country because, again, we've already been dealing with most of this for the last 6 years, the football we've been watching. Like what we're watching now is what we've been watching for the last 6 years, probably worse because at least those offenses, well,
we knew we didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say it again. I was not keen on the Russ trade. I didn't think it'd be this bad. Didn't think it'd be this bad, but I was not keen on the deal. Seahawks look like geniuses right now. And boy, they're just laughing in everybody's faces right now. And they have every right to, because we poo-pooed all over them.
I still don't, again, some quality of opponents that they've played in this first half of the season are not great, but they're playing good football. So,
and at the rate the Broncos are going, they're going to have a nice high draft pick.
They're going to have a first and second round draft pick in the top 10 of both rounds, probably.
That's what it's looking like right now. That's vicious. That is so brutal, man. Oh, how did we get on this terrible train again? Just how was your week, buddy? You got any nonsense? Any stories to tell us? A little Pinky story time? Anything?
No, man. The weekend was good. Didn't really do a whole lot. So, watch the Broncos. Did go see Black Adam. So,
is it bad or good? Because I've heard it's one or the other is what I'm reading out there right now.
To me, it's on par with. It's probably in the better half of the DC movies.
Is it as good as Shazam?
No. Shazam might be the best DC movie.
That's unfortunate. I was really hoping it'd be as good as Shazam.
But the whole story is not great. If you like The Rock, you'll like the movie.
See, that's not good.
I love The Rock, so I was
already. I love The Rock, but that means it's not a great movie. Like if you have to say it like that, then it's not a great movie.
It's not a great. It's not like it's not. It doesn't change anything. So they brought in the Justice Society, which is a thing in the comics. Right?
I've never even heard of that.
So there's the Justice League.
Right.
And then there's the Justice Society, which is made up of the Justice League. And
is this newer? Or has this been around for a long time?
Justice Society's been around for a long time.
Okay. Nope. I don't know. I've never heard of Justice Society.
It's the same thing as the Justice League, essentially.
Okay. All right.
But cool. This was a way for them to bring in lesser known characters. Like they brought in Hawkman, they brought in Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate's character is actually really cool in the comics. It's really cool that he can basically see the future. And he's got a lot of He's kind of like the Doctor Strange of DC, basically,
Okay.
because he can use magic. They brought in Atom Smasher, which is like DC's version of Ant-Man,
Oh,
because
okay.
he can get really big. He can't get small, but he can
Oh,
get really big.
all right.
But they put a mask over him when he gets really big. That he has a mask on, and it looks like Deadpool. So he's got kind of a goofy demeanor as well. And then they bring in Tornado, and played by this girl, and she literally does like little wind gusts, but they're like rainbow wind gusts. So it's like, wait, why did we do this? Uh,
Okay.
so I enjoyed it. The action's really cool, and they destroy a lot because it's based in this like it's not a real country, Kadik or something like that, and it's that's kind of where this guy is from, um, where Black Adam is from,
Right.
and they keep it right there. It's just the story is just not great, and that's kind of what kills it. I mean, it's kind of funny. I would say The Rock has like John Wick level dialogue in this movie.
Okay.
If you've ever kind of paid attention to a John Wick movie, like there's no dialogue in that movie. It's just
Yeah, but
action.
that's why Keanu is so great because when he does give the dialogue, it's just amazing. Um,
I
that's
think it's
that's kind of
fun.
funny because I have heard The Rock say. I'm pretty sure I heard The Rock say. Maybe I'm just lying right now, but this was like a passion project for him.
It is absolutely,
So for it to
but
be not good, that's unfortunate.
it's good enough. It's making money, and at the end of the day, that's what it needs to do. He has enough power that he literally got Superman greenlit, and he's going to be either in the next Superman or somehow they'll be in a movie together with Henry
I
Cavill.
What I don't get is why can't DC do what Marvel is doing? Like I just don't understand why they can't get their stuff together and
So that's what they're trying to do. The new Flash movie is meant to create a like redo and create their universe.
yeah, but aren't they not that's like not necessarily happening right now anymore the way they were going to because Ezra Miller got in all his stuff.
I think he had already completed all the filming of it though. Like I guess they won't be able to do reshoots with him, so they'd have to figure something else out because they're done with him.
But
Like
why would you
DC.
even put the movie out if the Flash isn't going to be the same actor that's resetting the whole universe? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, when you talk about multiverse, which is what Flashpoint is it brings in the multiverse.
right,
You can bring in a Flash from another universe and it'd be a different actor. Like there's ways you can do it.
right. But then what? You just kill off that one somehow at the end, and you let the new one. I mean,
Yeah,
geez, is that one of the storylines? Because that's not how Flashpoint goes.
that's not exactly how Flashpoint goes, but
Not exactly how Flashpoint goes. That would be changing quite a bit. But okay.
so
I mean, if they get it done, there's some really cool stuff they could do with a lot
I'll
of their characters.
I'll probably take my daughter to go see that. Um, it's a fun movie. Again, the bar is not very high for me when it comes to superhero movies. I love superhero movies,
Well,
but
and with your movie pass, like you got to go see everything you can, you know?
yeah, correct. And I hadn't seen a movie in like a month and a half
Right.
because there just hadn't been anything out I really wanted to go see. So, um, again, I think it's a fun movie. I think it's worth watching. Um, I saw it in the big theater at the mall, so it's loud, it's action packed, it's in your face. Like it's a good movie experience. If you go in expecting to get Shazam or one of the really good storyline movies, you're not going to get that. That's not what this movie is.
Is it better or worse than Wonder Woman 2?
Better.
Okay. Whew. 'Cause if you're going to say worse, we are going to stop talking about it right there. And
I
that was
don't
gonna
know
be the end
how
of
a
it.
movie can get worse than Wonder Woman 2. And I
It was
love
bad.
the original Wonder Woman.
First one was really good.
And I like Chris Pine and her. I like their dynamic together.
Yep. She's good in Justice League, whichever version you like. She's good in Batman vs Superman. But boy, that second one, whew.
I am loud and action-packed, Samuel. I love Samuel.
That's facts. All facts. What?
So that was the week. That was it. I saw Black Adam. Did watch? You watched the UFC fights?
Okay.
Those were good. Watched them at good company. It was kind of weird because they came on at noon.
And, yeah, because they were over in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, they were at Abu Dhabi, so they came on at noon. Pretty good fights, though, man. Trying to think. Sean O'Malley beat Peter Yan. Right. It was close. It was a close one. I hate Sean O'Malley, so I was pulling for Yan. But if I'm being honest, Sean O'Malley did enough, and he did enough damage to win that fight. But that dude's going to get mopped up by most of the guys he fights. Like, he's got length, but that's about it.
Yeah, he just seems to have just a quirky enough style that guys can't really get around it. So it's just odd enough. All right, well,
and then of course I watched the Broncos lose on Sunday. So
who did they play?
They played the Jets.
Yeah,
which again, if Breece Hall doesn't go for 60 yards, they might win that game.
I didn't catch a lot of that.
It was pretty much like normal. We played good defense. The offense had a couple plays here and there, but they just couldn't string enough good plays together. Which, again, I'm like, Sutton didn't get a ball thrown to him until like the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I saw enough of it to where I was like,
Sauce Gardner looked good, but that dude grabs and holds like crazy. He had tons of missed offensive or defensive pass interferences not called against them.
When you're always aggressive at the line of scrimmage like that guy is, you're going to get away with some stuff. You know what I mean? Because that's just your style. And so it's a little bit harder.
I'm still shocked. Most of them were, I'm like, okay, he's definitely holding. They could call it. But the one that was really bad is the one in the end zone. Like, he's literally pulling Sutton's jersey back as he's trying to go up for the ball. And the ref's right there. I just don't see how the ref doesn't call that. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, we'll get. You want to just get into it? We'll start with that game for a change, and then we'll get it done and over with. Okay.
Well, I mean, you didn't watch much of it, so.
Well, I mean, I watched enough of it, but I just I put it out of memory. You know what I mean? Like, it was bad, dude. It was bad. It was ugly.
I mean, it was obvious the offense does work better when the quarterback plays under center.
Does Sutton is he just not good? Like, do we have to start thinking about that at this point, or is it really just terrible play calling?
Most of it's terrible. Like, again, he wasn't even targeted till like the third quarter. Like,
that's so we're on the same page. Sutton can still be a legit wide receiver one. Like, he could put up big numbers.
It seems to me like they don't draw up the right plays for him. Obviously,
they don't really drop the right plays for Judy either. You know, like when either one of them gets a chance, they usually do something.
I mean, they did in this game.
He didn't get targeted until the third quarter.
They had quite a few good ones for Judy in this game. Judy was like 6 or 7 for 90.
Not saying they didn't do something, but it's like every other game. Like, both of those dudes should be going 6 or 7 for 90 and a ton. You know what I mean? Like, that should be every game.
Pretty much. Greg Dulcich looked good. He's got good hands. So he's going to continue being a bigger part of the offense going forward. It's good to have Quinn Miners back. The O-line actually wasn't horrible. They only gave up 1 sack, and the Jets D-line's pretty good.
It is.
So,
It is.
Didn't Melvin Gordon is not he has no feel for this offense.
Does Marlon Mack make a comeback for the rest of the season? Does he become the RB1?
No, Murray's got it. When you see Murray actually looks like he knows what he's doing in this offense.
He's just not explosive. So if Mack can show that he could still be explosive, do you think they would let him start running?
I don't think Mack will show that he's explosive. I think they're all pretty much the same at this point. They're just
I feel like Mack didn't look bad in the preseason. He just hasn't found a spot, with the team. Everybody that's been signing him is for a depth move, but now he's got a chance to. I mean honestly, Gordon's obviously the out.
None of our running backs are special at this point because we have 0 20-yard runs this year. So
insane.
If that says anything. So,
I mean, that's a combination of a lot of things, but it's bad.
Defense is still lights out. They are balling.
Defense is good. It's
unfortunately, if the defense doesn't score, which they actually had a scoop and score that got called back, if the defense doesn't score, we probably don't win the game. Is how it's going right now. We have to have the defense actually create a score.
We're back to that. So basically, what you're saying is 2001 to 2012. When did Peyton sign?
Oh, hey, whoa! We had the Plummer years. We made the playoffs every year.
They weren't bad, and I still think they could have gone to the Super Bowl if they had kept Plummer in instead of Jay Cutler. But Shanahan had to prove his little pet project.
So the Plummer years were good. So you're talking 2006 to 2012.
Well, you got a couple Brian Greasy years in between there at the early stages.
He made the playoffs one year and he made the Pro Bowl one year. So, it wasn't awful.
Okay, fine. 2000. When did Peyton sign?
2012.
Okay, so 6 to 12, and then he retired after 15. So then 16 to 22. So you're talking 12 years plus of the same thing that we've been watching.
6 years.
Well, on either side, I'm talking 12 years in total.
Oh, okay.
6 to 12, right? And then 16 to 22. That's 12 years total that we've been with a little buffer in between there, just a little one. That got us excited again, like the Broncos could figure this out and be back on track and keep going to Super Bowls. Even if we weren't winning, we were still going, you know what I mean? But no. That's not how this is going to happen right away. So we got to be patient because hopefully these new owners, like we talked about, are willing to spend and do things the way they need to be done to get it right.
So there's 2 things I know. A, the defense is legit, and they've kept us in every game.
But they're thin.
They're getting thin because injuries keep happening.
Yeah.
But we're in every game. That offense just has to give us something, and we'd win these games. We literally could be 5-1 right now.
Here's the problem. 6-1. You don't have a first and a second next year, right?
Correct.
Cap space is not going to be great.
It's not bad.
No, it's just not what you need to fill all the holes.
With the increase that we got, we still have cap room this year. With the increase that we're going to get next year, we'll be okay. We're not re-signing Bradley Chubb, and so I think he's getting traded after this next game.
Ooh. Really?
That's already a report from Rappaport or Mike Florio or somebody. If the Broncos lose Sunday in London, Bradley Chubb will be gone before the trade deadline, which is Tuesday.
Do they lose Sunday in London?
I mean, it's possible. The Jags are okay. They're not great. They're like us. I mean, they're pretty good on defense. Their offense is better than ours.
But that's Jags home field, baby.
It is Jags home field. They've got a lot of experience playing there. I thought we did a good thing by leaving Monday. So the Broncos flew out Monday.
Yeah.
Then they had today to rest, and then they start practice Wednesday. So I don't know if they win or lose. I can't tell. I would have said for sure we beat the Jets even with Brett Ripien. We almost did. So
Yeah, so the Jets, if they start trusting Zach Wilson a little bit more, if he starts showing that he can be that guy, they've got some weapons in the receiving core that they can start going to and pushing the ball a little bit more. And they did trade for James Robinson to fill the Breece Hall. So while not probably as explosive as Breece Hall, Robinson showed he can still run the ball this year. So they won't lose a ton. They'll lose a little bit, but not a ton. You know what I mean?
I think Breece Hall had that fire going. He had that momentum going. It's a tough break.
He's gone, ladies and gentlemen. That was the end of that situation.
Sorry, I had to get up and get my charger cord. The laptop's gonna.
He's just gone. It's just me now. Welcome. Come sit in with
continue
me.
on. Continue on. You're a professional.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. So with Breece Hall, boy, he was starting to look real good. And now, who knows? Who knows what he comes back as? I mean, look at J.K. Dobbins. We all know how I feel about J.K., and he may be never again the guy that I thought he would be.
You just never know how a knee injury is going to heal.
You do not.
And if it's going to heal well. And because I know it tightened up on him, and then all of a sudden he was like he's going to be out for like 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, another surgery, didn't he?
I think he did have some stuff cleaned up.
Yep. So, he's out. So hopefully Breece Hall recovers. He comes back when he's fully healthy and he's just as explosive and can be a badass because he was definitely on his way.
Colorado shorthanded goal.
I didn't want to say anything.
I know, I'm behind. I'm 30
so
seconds.
Pinky and I are both watching the Avs game on the side here.
And I'm 30 seconds behind.
Pinky somehow is 30 seconds behind me. So I almost got really excited and I held it in.
You're watching Altitude. I'm watching ESPN Plus.
No, I'm watching ESPN. I'm watching ESPN.
Oh, I'm watching ESPN Plus. That's why.
So, but yeah. So yes, Avs shorthanded up 2-1.
As we talk about Broncos in London, just as a reminder, guys, this is an ESPN Plus exclusive. It's only on ESPN Plus. You're welcome, America. You don't have to watch. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm glad you told me because I'd have been like, why am I not finding this in the morning?
This is an ESPN Plus exclusive. We're saving you from having to watch. You're welcome, America.
Okay. All right.
And you won't have to watch them next week because they're on a bye.
All right, well, let's move away from that. Jets are looking solid. I'll give Jets credit.
Jets are 5-2.
Well, jeez, what the? Okay, just good. Congrats, Jets. Congrats. You can win and we can't. Good job. You got some great young talent. What else do you want to cover from last week?
Let's throw some. Bengals are starting to round into form a little bit.
Check this. A little Dan Patrick stat of the day for you. Not from Dan Patrick. I actually saw this. I read this on I can't remember, ESPN or something. But name me the only quarterback in history. Or wait. Tell me how many quarterbacks in history have multiple 500-yard, 4-touchdown games.
I think Dan Marino's got one.
Multiple. How many have multiple 504?
Ben Roethlisberger?
Joe Burrow.
Oh, wow. But he didn't throw for 500.
That's just the stat I read.
He threw for like 487 and 4 touchdowns, but he didn't hit 500.
Well, some of that could be if he was sacked. Those come off of passing yards.
Yeah, well, they come out of the passing yards, but the quarterback still gets credit for his passing yards. He threw for 481.
Okay, well, maybe they're counting net.
So he didn't throw for 500 according to the stats, but he had like 375 in the first half.
Yeah.
Like he had a whole game's worth in the first half.
Yeah. Yeah, their offense is starting to look good. Definitely starting to figure things out, it looks like. Which is scary because they got weapons. A lot of weapons.
Yeah, I think they're just starting to round out. The offensive line's actually playing better. I mean, obviously, when the offensive line's actually blocking for him, giving him some time, he can throw those deep passes to Chase.
That helps. It definitely helps.
And, I mean, God, I think they have the best receiving core in the league. When you chase Higgins and Boyd, because there's weeks Boyd is awesome.
Yeah, I don't think it's even close, to be honest with you, because name somebody who has as good of a third. You know, Dolphins have the equal 1-2 with Waddle
and Hill, yeah.
Waddle and Hill.
For sure.
You know, you could possibly maybe throw the Eagles in there. Devontae Smith has looked really good this year, but it seems to be either his game or A.J. Brown's game.
It's Devontae it's Devontae and A.J. They don't have
together, that's one of the top 1-2 punches. Kansas City doesn't have anybody other than Kelsey. You could do Kittle and Debo.
I mean, Juju's coming on now.
He's
had 2 good games. I don't know why. He's not any good. But
I wouldn't put him on that elite level right now. Everybody we've mentioned so far I would put on that elite level. And that's about it. I can't think of anybody else who has that kind of guy on each side of the line, if you will. Each side of the quarterback that can do that.
Definitely wanted to give a shout out to the Bengals. They're looking better. How about the Cowboys generating 4 turnovers from the Lions and just I mean, I thought the Cowboys would have scored 30-some points. They only scored 24, but they won the game.
I thought the Lions would have
Say hi, Winston. You know you want to say hi. Say hi.
Oh, you're so adorable, Winston.
Say hi, Winnie. You.
Oh, just a little mongrel cuteness.
He's got so much energy.
Yeah, I bet. I can hear mine upstairs, so the wife will probably not be happy with me when this is over.
We've got. How about I know he's not my guy, but I got to give him credit. PJ Walker going in and laying the smackdown on the Bucks.
Oh goodness!
I have no idea how the Bucks score 3 points against the Panthers. That just doesn't make sense to me at all.
This is why he's my guy.
They didn't even turn the ball over.
Blew up the XFL. He was the league MVP that year they brought it, or USFL. The one year they had it. Or was it the XFL? No, I can't remember. USFL, right? League MVP. He actually looked really good. So obviously he was playing, above his grade level. But he has these flashes where you're like, I wonder if he could ever actually be really good.
No.
And then you're like, no, probably no. Third string seems to be right for you in the NFL. And then he shows like a game like that where he looks pretty solid.
I think he's a solid backup.
I agree.
Like obviously he can come in. If you need him for a week, he can come in and win a game.
But he had his chance to come in. He played under Rule at Temple. So if anything, you thought that would have been his best opportunity. But somehow DJ Moore made an appearance finally this season.
Without the Bucks turning the ball over, they still didn't score points. That just makes no sense to me.
The Bucks, I told you I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I don't think they're that good this year, and I'm going to maintain that no matter what happens because I think they're just hugely overrated. Something just didn't. The line was having issues. The defense didn't feel like it was going to be that good to me. Yeah, they got some weapons on the outside, and Leonard Fournette is boom or bust.
I'd like to argue with you, but I can't. They're just putting out awful performances, so
Yeah, they're not looking good.
can't even argue with you, buddy.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers. What else you got?
Samuel brought up the Packers. Packers losing to the Commanders with Taylor Heineke.
They're definitely not doing what's best for their team right now as far as play calling goes. I will say that. They obviously made a huge mistake in who they drafted at wide receiver and what they spent on their defense, because both are looking bad.
They had chances, right? They could have picked George Pickens. They could have picked Burks. They could have picked. I think they had a chance at Burks. I think
They had options and they chose to go in different directions. So they got two supposedly really good running backs.
Their defense is supposed to be so good.
Top 5.
But it's not.
No, it has not been good. Not been good at all. So I don't know if they'll be able to turn it around and get into the playoffs at the rate they're going.
I think they could snatch a wild card, but their offense is just as bad as the Broncos.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Good. Not been good at all. So
really bad.
We'll see what happens with the Packers. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers three-peating, the Packers getting to the Super Bowl are looking like really bad choices.
Whoever put money on the Giants being 6-1,
congratulations,
would literally be rich.
I mean, how? I didn't. Now, I said I thought they'd be competitive with Dayball. Right now, it's looking like
6-1.
You let Dayball have Daniel Jones. You tell Daniel Jones, we're going to give you like a 5-year, 25 to 27 mil a year deal and build around him finally and save some of that money to build around him with Dayball. You might get into a Super Bowl in the next 5 years.
And they've got two corners playing really well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Why can't I remember? I have to pull up their roster.
Technically, Sam, it's New Jersey that's having a really good season, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from. East Rutherford, to be exact.
Buffalo fans are like, yeah.
Buffalo fans are happy.
They didn't put up any stats on their corners, but they've got two corners playing really well right now. That's helping them out. Their defense is playing good. They've got Saquon Barkley healthy.
They got an offensive and defensive lineman rated by PFF as two of the highest graded out right now.
Andrew Thomas, right? Because it's not Evan Neal, because Evan Neal does not look good.
Nope.
He's a rookie. I'm going to give him some grace, but he doesn't look good right now.
Yeah, no, not Evan Neal.
Daniel Jones had 107 yards rushing, too.
Yeah.
In that game against the Jaguars. Although the Jaguars had a chance to win. So
they did, but hey, if you can keep finding ways to win, even if it's ugly, that's what matters.
Let's see.
That's a culture setter.
Ravens have not looked. They beat the Browns, but they have not looked good either.
Their second half has looked bad, and their fourth quarter in particular has looked terrible.
So
they come out at halftime and they are a different team.
They got lucky to get that one from the Browns. Let's see. Tua coming back. Didn't look great in the second half, but in that first half, man, like their first 3 drives, they went 3. They scored all 3 times.
Well, I'll tell you, he is quick and accurate. He can read those plays very well as far as what he thinks he wants to do, and then he makes quick decisions and he gets that ball out.
I still see him being maybe a little small to have a long career in the NFL. But if they can keep him healthy and upright, he's super accurate, and he's got 2 guys that are hard to cover. And the Dolphins could be dangerous.
So you're right about all of those things. All of those things are correct. Here's what I would say, though. I feel like Tua has this, like, I can run as a quarterback mentality, like a Kyler Murray or a Lamar Jackson or a Josh Allen, or like he has this Like he believes he can do it, but he's not that guy. But he's mobile. You know what I mean? But he's not that guy. So if you can get that mentality out of his head and get him to play more Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, in the idea that like you're only looking to run or scramble that much if you have a wide open field that you see to run to. Otherwise, just throw it away. Like if you can get him more on that side of the mentality, boy, I think he could have a long, dangerous career with those weapons that you just talked about.
Well, he at least looks good right now, man. And they were fun to watch, at least in the first half. The second half was really bad, but the first half was fun to watch. Let's see. Titans, Colts. I feel like we said the Titans would probably win. Matt Ryan got benched this week.
Yes, he did. Sam Ehlinger coming into play.
So
and he actually looked decent in the preseason. So
we'll see. We did have Saints Cardinals on Thursday night, which actually was a freaking barn burner.
Good game, yeah.
I mean, Cardinals got
a good game.
Cardinals got 2 pick sixes. We were talking about it on air. That actually ended up still being Cardinals winning, but Seahawks whooping the shit out of the Chargers.
Oh my!
Oh my God!
You were right, Pinky. Good call. Chargers will Charger, and I don't know how you get rid of that in your franchise, but yeah, it doesn't matter what the team shows on paper at the beginning of the season. They will find a way to just blow it all up as quickly as possible.
I'm pretty sure Brandon Staley's on the hot seat.
Yeah, at this point he has
as well. Yeah, the guy I met at the draft, the big Chargers fan, was sitting with me and Andy. Cool guy. Him and I have been chatting. This week we've both been crying, talking back and forth. And I told him, it was funny. I told him before the game, I was like, you are never going – J.C. Jackson, in my opinion, he's out for the year. But in my opinion, guys who play really well in New England's defense normally don't go somewhere else and play really well. It's not normally what happens.
I mean, I thought he was looking all right.
But he wasn't at the level he was at New England. He was still getting burned in that defense. He's not.
I mean, you're missing Bosa and everybody else that they already have out. It exposed him a little bit. I will agree with you there. I don't think it made him look bad per se.
I don't think he's a shutdown corner. I think he definitely plays.
I agree with that. That's not man coverage, shut somebody down kind of thing is not his game.
They paid him shut down number 1 corner money. They didn't pay him like, hey, you're pretty good money.
I mean, okay. I think there's different types of cornerbacks. It's just, are you going to play them in the way that they're good, or are you going to force them to do something that's not what you paid them for? I mean, if Dallas put Trayvon Diggs in a zone,
he'd be good in a zone where he doesn't have to play man up or worry about a guy burning him.
He would get burned constantly in a zone because he would always be jumping the ball. With a man, he's attached to something. You know what I mean? So it's easier to break some of his natural tendencies.
He seems to get burned either way, but he did make a play last week when I was watching. So
he did.
The other game that Raiders beat the Texans. That was expected. Texans did keep it close for a little while, but they finally, it finally got out of hand. Chiefs 49ers. 49ers are literally about to score to go up 7, I think. And of course, Jimmy G throws an interception. When he had a guy wide open. He had a running back wide open in the middle of the field to hit and go in for the score, and yet he tried to throw it to Kittle, who was covered, and then he threw a shitty ball to begin with too, and it was just downhill from there. Chiefs took that, they went down and scored, and it was just the snowball happened.
Let's be honest. The Chiefs right now are saying, hey, by the end of the season, we could very well be the best team. So, don't be thinking we're done just yet, because they might be figuring some things out.
Well, I still think they're the second best team to Buffalo because their
I'm just saying.
their offense is limited. Now, if somehow they get through the playoffs and they get to the AFC Championship game and somebody pulled a miracle and beat Buffalo, then they would absolutely go to the Super Bowl. Because I don't see
know.
any
Even if they played Buffalo, when you have, dude, 5 guys on the offensive side of the ball that you're more than willing to put the ball in their hands as a defense, you can't really go that deep, no matter how good you are. So that if this keeps building the way it has the last couple of weeks, Kansas City could be legit dangerous.
I don't know. I still think if they play Buffalo again, Buffalo still beats the shit out of them.
We'll see.
They play anybody else than Buffalo, they're in the Super Bowl.
Look, I think Buffalo's the best team. Kansas City has looked really good these last couple of weeks here where I'm like, oh, okay.
And that was it for that week. We've already talked about the early morning turd on Sunday.
What was that again? No, I'm just kidding. Just, yeah.
It's 2-5 versus 2-5. That's a turd. Somebody will have to win, though.
If I was in if I was in London for that game, I might have to wear a Jacksonville jersey just so I could root for the home team.
They wear everybody's jerseys in London, no matter who's playing. They don't care. Ravens and Bucks are on Thursday night. I don't know.
Ravens big, and then all of a sudden when you go back to the game in the fourth quarter, they end up winning by like 3. Because they can't play the second half, and Tom Brady always finds a way to at least do something to keep it close.
If Mark Andrews is hurt and doesn't play, because he's limited right now, if he doesn't play, Bucks will win this game.
No, I think you see an Isaiah Likely breakout game.
Maybe.
He's already had some flashes, and that's with Andrews on the field. So I think you see a breakout game from Isaiah Likely.
I'm not seeing any. Hold on. I'm just scanning the games.
Okay.
The most interesting game on this whole schedule, Giants Seahawks. That is literally the most interesting game.
No way.
That is the most interesting game.
Okay, run them down after the Sunday morning early dud. What do we got? Run them down here. We'll stop when something's worth it.
Bears, Cowboys. Pats, Jets.
Dak better show up, but I will say about that game, you can run the ball in Dallas.
You can.
And the way Chicago's been running the last 2 weeks, they might be able to steal one if they can keep running like that.
You can run the ball on Dallas. That is absolutely true.
So that could be interesting to keep an eye on.
Which is why Dallas traded for Jonathan Hankins today.
Yes.
So they get a big dude in the middle.
That's going to be interesting, actually.
Pats
Jets.
Raiders.
Interesting.
Saints.
Does Bailey Zappi start or does Mac Jones get it again?
Raiders, Saints. Bengals.
Yeah, that one's not interesting. What's after the Raiders, Saints?
It's 2-4, 2-5.
No, what's after? You said Raiders, Saints. That's a dud.
Bengals, Browns. Cardinals.
Have the Bengals really figured it out? And does Cleveland finally realize they have the 2 best running backs tandem in the NFL? We should just run the ball all day and win that way. That's what you should watch for that game. Next,
Cardinals, Vikings.
Vikings and who?
Cardinals.
Vikings should win that.
That's almost interesting.
Justin Jefferson blow up.
Dolphins, Lions. Panthers, Falcons. Steelers, Eagles.
That's an interesting game because
Eagles are going to mop.
That's what I'm saying, though. They got to keep blowing teams out. And then, if they get back towards the end of the game, that's fine because you let off the gas a little bit. But, they gotta put on another show here to keep proving people.
Titans, Texans,
Ugh.
Niners, Rams,
Ugh.
Commanders,
Well, I
Colts,
am excited to see what CMC gets with a full week of practice.
Commanders, Colts,
I'm excited to watch Sam Ellinger, see if he could be legit.
Packers, Bills.
Bills are the Bills should be a blowout too. Okay.
So when you look at it all around, Giants 6-1, Seahawks 4-3. That's pretty interesting.
It is. Where's it at?
It's in Seattle.
Sunday afternoon.
2:25 on Fox.
Okay.
You know they're gonna play 49ers Rams out here, but
maybe not.
I think 49ers Rams will be the game that's on 2:25.
I hope it's not. But you're probably right, unfortunately. Yeah, Pinky, sorry. I like the Giants in that game. And I think Daniel Jones has another big game through the air and on the ground. He went for 200 and 100 last game, which is pretty solid.
I mean, you can score on the Seahawks defense.
Yeah. And the Giants defense has been pretty solid, actually. Not great, but not bad by any means.
Seahawks are favored by 3.
I mean, here's the deal. No DK Metcalf.
I mean, maybe I should jump on that right now. Giants plus 3 points.
Yeah, I would. I like the Giants plus 3 for sure. But yeah, that's gonna be an interesting game. Can Saquon keep running? Who is Daniel Jones gonna throw the ball to? Because right now nobody knows. Can Geno continue to lead the Seahawks? Kenneth Walker's looking legit. That cornerback, that rookie cornerback in Seattle is looking pretty solid. Drawing a blank on his name right now.
I know who you're talking about. I just don't remember his name.
Yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau's looking legit. This is, there's actually things worth watching that you wouldn't have thought at the beginning of the season. You would have been like, yeah, I'm going to watch that game. Like, if it was on, I'd watch it for sure. And we picked the Seahawks to go 0-17.
Yeah, we may have.
So we had the Giants beating them in this game.
We may have been a little wrong.
But take the Giants plus 3 because we had the Giants winning this. That's a good line.
I mean, I just think Giants plus 3 without DK. Giants can focus on Tyler Lockett. I mean,
yeah, yep.
It just makes sense to me. But
I like it.
Week 8. So, I mean, I'm kind of after the Cardinals played this last week. They got Hopkins back. I'm kind of interested to see.
What did he go 10 for 110 or something like that?
He had a good game. So I'm kind of interested to see what they can do with that momentum against Vikings. So,
you think Keontae Ingram comes back?
I mean, Eno and Keontae. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right?
He looked pretty solid in his first real action.
Vikings are 5-1.
What are we looking at here? Why are you sharing the screen?
Because my tablet died and I don't have the schedule. So.
Oh. Okay.
So I'm improvising.
I thought we were about to see something awesome, and you're like, "Nah, I'm just going to show you the schedule I'm looking at here."
Just showing you the schedule, and it's in really small font.
Right here, then over here, up here.
I think Philly's going to roll, so that should be fun. Jets in New England. Jets without Breece Hall. Will Elijah Moore get back on the field? The Jets wide receiving core was very limited against the Broncos. So, besides that 60-yard,
because Elijah Moore and Wilson had a great connection to end last season. Garrett Wilson put up some big numbers with Joe Flacco. So it's there. Like, I'm not sure what's going on.
And I mean, the only other one that I think is at least somewhat interesting division game, 49ers at Rams. Rams had a bye last week, so they've had a week to prepare. San
I mean, Christian
Francisco's got
McCaffrey should have a huge game, right?
should have a big game. He should have a big game.
The Rams are bad. Rams are bad.
Rams are bad, but with a week to prepare, if their O-line can block, San Francisco's secondary's banged up. There could be some plays. Van Jefferson is practicing. If he gets activated from IR, that would help the Rams a lot.
Wow. Then Allen Robinson would become what, the fifth wide receiver?
Definitely the fifth behind Higbee, Skoranek, and Jefferson.
And Cup. So yeah.
And Allen Robinson had his best game last week, or 2 weeks ago.
That's a fall down big time.
So that's about it, man. This week, like I said, Chiefs are on bye, Chargers are on bye. Trying to see who else is on bye.
Chiefs and Chargers.
It's got to be more than that on bye.
No, it says it right at the bottom. Chiefs, Chargers, bye.
Huh. Well, look at that.
Yeah, see how awesome ESPN is if you pay attention?
Maybe that Cincy Cleveland game is interesting on Halloween. But
I think it will be. I think there's a lot of interesting things to watch, especially if you're from a fantasy perspective. Just kind of little things that I was talking about in each game that'll be interesting to watch. So obviously we could go into more depth with that kind of stuff, but I think we can make this a quick week. Like you said, there's not a lot of games where you're like, yeah, this is, sometimes the NFL has those weeks where you're like, yeah, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
This isn't quite that. It's going to be an interesting week fantasy-wise. I'll tell you that. It's going to be a real interesting week fantasy-wise.
Oh, there's going to be some guys that are going to blow up. Justin
Jefferson
is going to have a week.
Let's do this. Like Denver, Jacksonville, ETN. ETN is going to have himself a game. Christian Kirk is going to eat. Watch both of those things.
Wide receivers haven't done a lot on Denver. Denver's held running games down. They haven't stopped them completely. I wouldn't say they're going to have a fucking blowout game. That both defense is still top 3.
Both of those guys, watch, have big games. Denver, I got nothing for Denver. Nothing. Carolina, Atlanta.
Moving on.
Nothing there either. Chicago, Dallas. CeeDee Lamb should have a big game.
I don't know, man. Chicago's corners, Fixer and Gordon, have been playing really good.
They have been, but with Gallup there, and I expect CeeDee to have 7 to 8 catches and close to 100 yards. Maybe not a touchdown, but somewhere in that neighborhood. I think Justin Fields has a big game. Fantasy wise.
Okay, fantasy wise, maybe if he ran like 15 times.
And like we said, you can run on Dallas when they get him out and move that pocket. He can throw the ball a little bit, as he showed this last week and the week before.
Dallas has a little more athleticism on their
I'm not saying they don't.
And their linebackers than New England does, though.
You just got to move the pocket. That's all you got to do. You got to get him outside. So keep an eye on that. Miami, Detroit. I don't know if Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to play, so that could hurt Detroit big time.
Swift might play.
Swift could play.
Hill and Waddle are going to have huge games.
I was going to say, but watch. So I'm not really high on anything Detroit right now. We'll have to wait and see as the week progresses. But I agree. Waddle and Hill eat this week, both of them.
Big time. You're going to play them regardless anyway. So.
Yeah, for sure. Arizona, Minnesota. Yeah, Justin Jefferson has a big game. You know who else I think has not a blockbuster night, but a really good solid night if you want to stream a tight end? I think Irv Smith has a really good night against Arizona's lack of defense there most of the time. So keep an eye on that. Let's see here. Vegas, New Orleans. Josh Jacobs has a huge night, and I also think that Alvin Kamara has a huge night. Huge day.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Look out for Jawan Johnson. He could have another big game against Vegas. Tight end. Not bad. Keep an eye on that. New England, New York. Ramondre Stevenson, I think, has a big game. He'll continue his trend.
Jets are decent against the run, though.
They're not bad. I think he does a lot of his work through the passing game as well. So I think he's kind of bulletproof at this point, fantasy wise. The Jets, I think I don't like James Robinson this week because he got traded early in the week. He's gonna have to learn the playbook a little bit. Not sure about the Jets at all.
You can run on the Pats though.
I know, but does he get enough touches to be relevant this week? That'll be the question. So a little iffy there if I'd play him.
Every league I have him in, I have to play him because I have guys on bye on the that I have to.
Good luck.
Work around.
Good luck. Pittsburgh, Philly. You're playing everybody Philly that you have. No questions asked. Pittsburgh, I like George Pickens to have another good game, and I like Freiermuth to have another good game.
It's the only consistent guys they have, really.
Yeah, that's about it. Houston, Tennessee. Back to the running backs. Dameon Pierce will have a solid day, and Derrick Henry will look good.
Yeah, load up Derrick Henry. He's going to have a day.
Yep. Washington, Indy. Indy's going to be a bit of a question mark with Ellinger. I think Jonathan Taylor has a big day. I do think he'll have a big day. Keep a sneaky eye on the way they're actually using Antonio Gibson right now. He's getting a lot of looks in the passing game, especially with Heineke. He had a solid week last week. I like him to score again this week. For what that's worth, it could be on one touch. It could be 15 touches and some yards. I don't know, but I do like Antonio Gibson to score again this week. San Francisco, Los Angeles. Like we both said, I think CMC has a huge day. I also like Debo and Kittle.
Well, Debo's banged up. He might not play.
Okay, if he doesn't play, then so be it. But if he does, I like him to have a good day too. On the Rams, you're playing
Cup, and that's about it.
And you're not even playing Stafford if you have other options. So
I'm playing Stafford. I don't have other options.
Unfortunate. New York Giants, Seattle Seahawks. You're definitely Kenneth Walker coming out. You have shares of him. Put him in. Saquon, you got him. Put him in.
Put Lockett in.
Yeah, Lockett should have a decent day. I think a sneaky play could be Wan'Dale Robinson. If you're looking for a flyer, I would highly recommend Wan'Dale Robinson. He seems to be the guy getting the most looks and touches right now behind Barkley. About the only wide receiver they trust. So if he plays, he would be a sneaky good play there. Oh, Buffalo.
Marcus Goodwin.
Bay. What?
Marcus Goodwin.
Possibly with Seattle, yeah, but
he seems
to have a blow-up game and then nothing for like 6 weeks. So,
well, I think that would be the case, but with DK out, they need a little bit of help. So.
True, yeah, that could be a sneaky play as well. Good call. Buffalo. Green Bay. You're playing everybody. Buffalo, you have. Green Bay, you're probably playing Rodgers because you don't have a choice.
You're playing Aaron Jones.
Definitely playing Aaron Jones.
You can run on Buffalo.
Maybe Dylan gets back to form. You're probably playing Lazard wouldn't be a bad play on this bye week because he'll probably still get you around 12 to 15 points. 6 catches,
but you don't
60
like
yards. Yeah, you're not thrilled about it because it doesn't seem like he's been doing a lot, but he's been steady about 12 to 15 points a game. So that's a good play on a bye week. Cincinnati, Cleveland, you're playing everybody Cincinnati that you have shares in. You're definitely playing everybody there.
You're playing everybody Cleveland that you have.
Yeah,
it sucks.
That's what I was just gonna say too. Because if you have to play Kareem Hunt, you're playing him. You're definitely playing Chubb. You're playing Amari Cooper if you have him because he's one of your top wide receivers. Does Donovan Peoples-Jones have a decent game? He's had a couple this year.
You don't like it, but if you need a play, sure.
Might be worth it. And Njoku's not playing. He's out. So that might open up some touches there for Peoples-Jones. So quick fantasy rundown there. You got anything else, Pinky?
I think we're good, buddy. This is kind of a weird week. Probably, again, Phillies, Astros. I'm rooting for the Astros, man.
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention the World Series. Jeez Louise. Good catch. Phillies, Astros. You like the Astros?
Yeah, I mean, Phillies are the good story, but it's the Astros.
So I posted this on our Facebook page. The math checks. Every time the Phillies have won a World Series, there's been an economic crisis in the United States. 2000 or 1929 or 28 or 29, and then obviously Great Depression. They won 1980, and then you had interest rates shoot through the roof. You had 2008 in the housing market. If they win this year, get ready to dip into your life savings, ladies and gentlemen. But that starts Thursday. So we'll
So
have a
let's just
couple
have
games.
we'll just have the Astros win then.
Let's
We don't have
just
to
let
worry
the
about
Astros
that.
win again, and then baseball can get really upset, and I will love it every minute. I said I would like to see that when the playoffs started. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here and see how that goes. We'll have a couple
Let's at
games
least
to
have
talk
it be a
about.
series, man. Both of these, ALCS and the NLCS was garbage.
Yeah, but luckily they both were quick series so that we weren't sitting around waiting for things to happen. You know what I mean?
You'd like to see a good series. We didn't get a good series at all. These were
Well,
bad.
you hope this makes it a good World Series because like teams that have sat or swept people through the LCS and then played in the World Series don't usually fare well because they have to sit for so long. And in baseball, when you got to sit, you get cold, you lose your rhythm. All those things happen with baseball, and then it's just bad. So hopefully this makes a good World Series. It'd be nice to see it go 7 games. That would be cool.
Astros in 7. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
right.
I got nothing else. I'm solid. Make it a quick week. We gave you a lot of information in a quick week about a bunch of useless information. So take what you will from it, and don't add us unless you're singing praises and glory.
You can add us with anything you have. That's fine. That's fine. You want to call me an idiot or a moron? I'm willing to take that because it's probably true.
Yeah, let's hear it all. Let's hear it all. Let's just get it over with.
I'm here for it.
All right, buddy. Well, you have a good rest of your week, sir. As always, spend that time with your loved ones, family, friends. Cherish those moments. We're out. Peace.